What is going on? This is my first reaction video ever. I don't want to make a habit of this, but I was watching Tom Hougaard trade this morning live, and I I thought it was a great live session. If you please, I'll link the video in the bottom if you want to watch him trade live. But today he had his biggest YouTube win ever. I know he does a lot of his not his Discord chat, but his thing that he puts out his trades and stuff. That's great. But this was a live video recording of him actually trading, and his biggest win on YouTube ever. So he has said some really insightful things, and I really just wanted to break them down and share them with you, and you know, show you how right he is in this kind of aspect. And first, I want to show you when he was exiting the trades and taking profits, and then how he reacted afterwards, which I thought was pretty important, that we can go over that.
22, 24, 25. I'm going to start taking some profit here. I'm taking profit at 30. Taking profit at 20. I'm taking profit here at 34. I don't understand why this chart isn't updating.
Dude gets frustrated after closing his biggest trade ever and then grunts.
Hang on. About 26 trade.
So here is where he takes a deep breath and he talks about actually how emotional he got in this trade. I want to make sure we see this.
Okay, I took some profit around here. I think I will step away from the edge. Okay, I took some profit around here. As you can probably tell, I'm a little bit emotional, so I think I will step away from the screen. Yeah, that was a little bit nerve-wracking being short 300 pounds a point with an audience. Have a lovely weekend, everybody. I hope that you'd enjoyed this display of complete and utter, I don't know what to call it, but that's what I do.
Tom Hougaard grunted once, closed a 28,000 pound trade. I don't know what the conversion is, $26,000, $27,000, $28,000. Closed the trade, grunted once, and then said, "I'm being too emotional." Like, I think I'm more emotional right now just watching him film this video than he actually was closing that. I mean, I can't imagine, but Tom Hougaard, a legend in the space, is finally really able to show us what it really, like, not even the guys at the top can avoid this. You know, one of the best traders to ever live, arguably, is showing us what it looks like to close a $28,000 or pound trade in front of a live audience on YouTube. And he was stoic, absolutely stoic. I mean, his face, he was like, "I'm emotional." Just stoic, just a brick wall of emotion. And I thought he handled it great. I'm sure on the inside he was just absolutely on fire at that moment, but really just a super interesting perspective to see that arguably the best trader of all time, one of the best traders of all time, really still, you know, feels these emotions, and that, you know, we're not alone when we feel these things. And you know, this was his follow-up. I think he realized afterwards, when he like shut down his stream, that he realized that this is actually a pretty valuable teaching moment, and he actually was talking about some pretty important stuff afterwards, and I want to break this down as well.
Same, and me trading big size isn't just a question of me wanting to make money, but also about giving people a visual representation, both in my demeanor, but also on my account, what that feels like. However, today presented me with a situation that I hadn't encountered before emotionally when trading on YouTube. I executed a short in the Dow, and then I added twice to make it a very big position. And it was the first time in years that I felt a degree of nervousness. And ironically, the moment I had closed the trade and I tuned out of YouTube, I reopened the position. Not in the same size, admittedly. I opened it in just 130 lots, which is still running. I got out of the majority of my position at, I think it was 7:30, and I reopened it here at 7:07, and it's sort of running over on the screen.
I can't imagine ever being in a position that he's in. Number one, I'm still trading with prop firms, not legit my money, especially not at that size. But anybody who's trading prop firms, who's trading small accounts, you know, this is what the top looks like. With trading with legit money, that kind of size, 5-figure. I mean, this dude was swinging some people's annual salary in a matter of like 15 minutes. And he's showing what it looks like, and he's being transparent. And it is so refreshing to see this, because that's kind of what I've been trying to do on this channel, is just show. I mean, I'm the farthest thing from him. We are polar opposites as far as our trading ability, but I just figured this was super useful information to everybody out there. I mean, it happens to the best.
So the reason why I wanted to do this post-mortem is because I also wanted a video evidence that let the record show that I, Tom Hougaard, felt a degree of fear today. And I'm at this stage, this is very raw, this only happened 10-15 minutes ago, but at this stage, I'm not certain if my fear was or is rooted in the amount of money that I risked, or if it was because I was scared of looking like an idiot in front of a wider audience. And that will take a little bit of time to reflect on, I feel. But
I hate live trading. I loved everybody who was there with me, and I love being able to chat with people, but I don't think I can do it. I'm not cut out for it. And it's a whole different ball game. I mean, I was swinging a prop firm account maybe a couple $100s at a time. It was still way too stressful for me to balance that and having a live audience.
I wanted to do this post-mortem, perhaps mostly for myself, because I am not certain that that is the point of me trading live. I'm not certain that the purpose is necessarily to show that I got big balls and I can swing the bat and I can make a lot of money very quickly. Rather, I always intended the experience of YouTube and Telegram to be an exercise in this is possible, this is doable, and it is probably not using the approach that most people, including teachers, will argue is the way forward, which is strategy, very strategy heavy, but rather, and as I think I demonstrate practically every single day, is my techniques are rather simple, effective, but they also require discipline. Perhaps a rare form of human discipline. Added to that, I would like to argue that, and I know that I took a swing of some of the other educators out there today, mostly because some of the things they say is utterly ridiculous. I don't believe for 1 second that anybody will go on YouTube and then lose deliberately. I feel that that is the mind seeking refuge from the pain of having lost publicly. But I give them love because I know how difficult this profession is. But I'm just going to circle back 30 seconds and say, well, I wanted this video experience to be an experience about how it was possible and how it was achievable, but not necessarily an exercise in showcasing my skills, but rather showing the world at large, or at least those who are interested in trading, that this is entirely possible and that you can pass these tests and that you can grow your account, but it might not.
Keep in mind when he says this that he is already a successful professional trader and has been doing this for a very long time. Still, the probabilities are still very low at making this happen, but again, this is coming from one of the industry best.
Not be using the current mindset that you have. And I suspect that my mindset is about 300 or 400 miles down the motorway from where you are starting, but you too can travel those 300-400 miles. Nevertheless, and having said that, I also feel that perhaps I met my limit today. Now, limits are there to be broken, but at least I wanted to reflect on that publicly, because I think showing vulnerability in public also gives people permission to themselves feel vulnerable, because there are many, many, many examples of people manipulating their feeds and their display in social media, which sadly isn't necessarily reflective of the real truth behind their trading or trading in general. So forgive my ramblings, forgive the ramblings of this old fool. As you can hear and see, I am generally just a man who is doing his very, very best every single day and is doing his bit to try and shed some light in an industry which is otherwise full of charlatans that is very quick to want to take your money, but not necessarily show you the full package of their own abilities.
I think this is fantastic. Please take notes from this man, an industry professional who is doing what we need most and being vulnerable and opening up about his trading experiences. And even when you win as big as he did today, just his way that he can open himself up to his hundreds of thousands of followers on YouTube, share his experience, and say, even me, the guy who writes the books, right? The guy who live trades, who has all this stuff going on for him, who makes a lot of money, still experiences the emotions. And to all of the people I hear constantly and I see all over the internet talking about you shouldn't have any emotions, you're never going to make this happen. Like, look at this dude. Look at this dude. Just understand that it is an unavoidable part, even at the highest levels. And it's just how you manage those emotions, and it's how you manage yourself in those times. I think that what defines you ultimately. And he's a spitting image of someone being super vulnerable and doing exactly what they need to do.
Nor do they actually show you, perhaps because they don't know what is really required to make money in trading. Trading is not a linear business at all. It is the exact opposite of linear. A linear business is when you go to work for a month and then you get the paycheck at the end of the month. And I think you know, as well as I know, that that is certainly not what trading is about. So forgive my ramblings. I'm going to wish you a lovely weekend. And I think I'm trying to say here that I may just rethink how I approach my YouTube experience and my YouTube performance, because I didn't, and I don't want my performance to be distracting for what is truthfully the underlying message of what I'm trying to do, which is to teach you trade. So the fact that I made a heap load of money this afternoon shouldn't detract from what actually went into the trade. What I'm saying is the outcome is of less significance and importance than perhaps what is, or truly is important as well. How did I manage the trade? And how did I manage my emotions? And I think having that video experience of my face and my breathing and my also goes to show that I by no means have the magic bullet to make trading a pain-free experience, because it really isn't a pain-free experience. I want to circle around the block here and bringing in perhaps the only person who has generally truly inspired me.
I'm going to rewind that.
Around the block here and bringing in, because it really isn't a pain-free experience, to make trading a pain-free experience, because it really isn't a pain-free experience.
This is golden stuff. It is that everybody is so quick to tell you that you have to lock yourself up emotionally and you'll never make it. But it's not a pain-free experience. It is coming from Tom himself. It's the management of the pain and the emotions. And I mean, he referenced it being a marathon, and just your ability to manage yourself emotionally and mentally through this experience. It's not pain-free. And anybody who tells you otherwise, like, I'd love to see your authority over this man right here.
I want to circle around the block here and bringing in perhaps the only person who has generally truly inspired me, and sadly has passed on, David Paul. But before him, Charlie DeFrancesca, the bond trader from the Chicago bond pits, who once said that you know that you are a good trader when you add to your winning position. But don't ever for 1 second forget that you will never truly be comfortable when you're trading. And that's the way it's supposed to be.
You will never truly be comfortable in trading. And that's the way it's supposed to be. I dare you to try to audit some of these traders on YouTube. I'm not going to name anybody specifically, but I dare you to audit these guys. And if they seem a little too stoic when they're talking about their $70,000 trades, their $50,000 trades, their $40,000 trades, whatever it is, if they have a straight face and they're not reacting to it, I mean, this is Tom Hougaard talking about, and he closed a $28,000 trade today. And this is his response to that. Kind of makes you wonder a little bit, when these other, 20-year-olds are swinging around like 30, 40, $50,000 per trade, and they're just perfect. And then they just go get their hair cut. You know, they're all fine. And like, you know, just brush over the fact that like they're looking on their phone. They're like, yeah, I made $50,000 today. It's nothing. I'm going to go get my hair cut.
Today, however, I think I may have just, what's the English saying? Bitten more than I could chew, I think what I'm trying to say. Okay, I'm going to leave it at this. I may just pause my YouTube performance for a little while. I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, I am a thinker, and perhaps at times I do overthink things, but then that's because I am frankly aware of my own mortality and the time that I do have left, and I want that time to be spent in the most optimal way, both for my own health, for my own performance, both in trading and in life, but also in the service that I provide to other people. Anyway, my friend Larry Pesavento, he always finishes off with, who loves you? So I'm going to do the same. Who loves you? Take care of yourself, okay? Stay strong. See you soon. Bye-bye.
I love this dude. I really, really love this dude. I think everybody needs to see this. Every trader needs to see this. And this needs to be bigger. This just happened today. Please go watch the live thing. Watch, his live trade being executed. Watch his absolute stoic, maybe his stoic exterior. I'm sure on the inside, like I said, he was just absolutely crazy. But Tom Hougaard being vulnerable, showing us exactly the reality of trading, actual trading, and, you know, go watch it. Go watch it. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me today. Peace.